Tipsy Matt here, coming to you from the Ainsley homeless village. So I'm going to show you something. This here, that's a doorknob. I've learned that's a doorknob through a process called, would we call it association? Again, slightly tipsy. I think conditioning is the way that the term we'd use in behavior science, okay? So I'm trying to deal with a problem through different levels of analysis. So behavior science, because the person I'm communicating with are my fellow psychologists. Like, remember, I'm a provisional psychologist. I have my friend Jordan Peterson, and I'm trying to resolve the frustration that him and I have intersected with. I don't think he understands what ideology is. Fundamentally, our frustration is that we can't define what ideology is. So my view is that it's inherent to the human experience to be programmed by ideology, and there's no escaping that programming. So again, I've been told through my life that this is a door handle. Okay? Right? I'm conditioned to see, look at that thing, think, word, door handle. That's what the radical behaviorists would think, because the radical behaviorists are a group of behavioral scientists or psychologists who were like, okay, everything, regardless if it's a cognitive function or a physical thing in the or what would be considered like the behavior, like something doing something categorized in a particular way, can be categorized as a behavior, and the same mechanisms and rules that we can define in applied behavior analysis to an extent. And this is like I have a partial acceptance of this view, can be seen as following the rules of applied behavior analysis, right? And Skinner's work. So I look at this. That's behaviorally I go like, okay, I've been conditioned to see this thing as a door handle, all right? Because through whatever fucking mechanism which language defines, there's a reward for me understanding the same thing that everyone fucking else sees this door handle as. Now this is a draft. This isn't something I'm staking my career on. I'm working through ideas, and I'm trying to explain a complex system of ideas using simple ideas. And to many people, this might sound like verbal spaghetti. This is the tipsy, I need to communicate an idea, and it's not going to be as coherent as I want it to be, but I'm working through this process, and this is what this video is, okay? I wouldn't want to be sacked over this. Now, there's this fantastic metaphor provided by Zizek, and I really wished Jordan Peterson got along with Zizek in some way. If they can find common ground and sit down and have conversations off camera so they can discuss what their ideas are without making it a fight, and so they can actually come to common understanding and progress the field rather than shitting on each other, I'd like that to happen. But there's this metaphor that Zizek uses when he describes a movie in called, I'm trying to remember it, I think it's called They Live, and it's there's a metaphor where like there's this guy, and he puts on these glasses, and when he puts on the glasses, he's therefore able to see everything which is going on. He's able to see how society is being manipulated and controlled. But you need to put the glasses on to see it, because when you don't have the glasses on, you are continuously controlled by the process of these associations and language for how we construe meaning in the world. Okay? So this thing is a doorknob because of this process of language. I put the critique of ideology glasses on. I see that this thing here, well, there's so many different ways that I can analyze what this thing is, but the most important thing is that I understand that I have inherited meaning. It has been passed down to me through generations of people, through the process of language, which we use as perhaps one of the only species on the earth which understands language, where through language we're able to communicate through generations different ideas, and those ideas develop upon themselves because we have firstly oral traditions and then written traditions. And because we're able to internalize these ideas from our ancestors and the people around us, I understand that this thing here is a doorknob. Okay? Now I put my critique of ideology glasses on, and that's when I understand that this is something which I've inherited. The meaning here is inherited. And then all inherited meanings are ideology. But all inherited meanings are a function of language. Okay? And the study of ideology is the study of how we have internalized these meanings. And that includes the study of language and the study of applied behavior analysis, and whatever human study results in me seeing this thing as a doorknob. And that means there has never been a point in time when humans have not been influenced by ideology. And that's the difference between how I view the world and how I suspect. And remember, I'm not trying to have an argument. I'm trying to resolve a problem. I'm trying to find... I'm trying to convey understanding. We need to accept that there is no escaping ideology, and ideology is inherent to the human experience. When we have these more complex systems of ideology, such as communism, capitalism, whatever it is, those are structures which function the same way a religion does. They are religions. Religions are ideologies. Religions are ideologies which structure ourselves and influence how we experience things and the world. And remember, ABA provides... So let's go back to behavior therapy and behavioral ideas. I see something which is potentially going to give me a reward. I'm going to experience emotions and shit like that associated with me working towards that thing which is going to provide me a reward. I'm going to see that thing as a good thing. I'm potentially going to deify it. If it's something like cocaine or drugs, you'll see this with people who get really into marijuana. Like, they'll see it, marijuana is the cure to cancer, the cure to all fucking problems. That's the most obvious example of it. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the holy fucking grail of medical science. They'll see it like that because marijuana provides this dopaminergic reward. Now, ideology creates a framework in which that we receive these rewards. And sometimes that is what is traditionally being classified as a religion. Sometimes it's communism, and you throwing in the Stalinist sense, you throwing your family into the gulag because they were, not Stalinistic enough. I think Mao's Mao is a better example with the Red Guard, and my family isn't communist enough. I need to throw them into prison to support the revolution, and that makes me feel good. That might be a better example. So this is where we get the idea of an ideological framework. Okay, so the idea is that the process of language which transfers this framework to a person, which provides these rewards to a person, the carrots and the sticks for how they should behave, that is an ideological framework. And there is no difference between Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, and communism or neoliberal capitalism in the Thatcherist sense. Or the bullshit Ayn Rand sense, in creating this framework for punishments and rewards that we internalize and experience. Now, this is the video which I would love Jordan Peterson to dissect and understand, right? because then he can understand ideology, because he hasn't understood ideology. Most people don't understand ideology. If there's one gift I can give to humanity, it's to understand that there is no escaping ideology, and what we need to do is that we need to create ideologies which are useful and pragmatic, which allow us the highest fidelity for us to understand reality, and then use our understanding of reality to behave most adaptively, because ideology will always distort our view of things. Language and the inherited meanings that we got from our parents and our grandparents are always going to be less accurate. Well, not necessarily less accurate. They can be less accurate than the current generation is creating. But the goal for humanity is to create ideology which describes our situation as precisely as possible, which is internalizable to people at the 100 IQ level. So that's what I want to say today. Have a lovely day, everyone. This video is meant for everyone. Video is meant for people who are involved in this conversation. Although I hope that many people interact with it. But that's my message today. Jordan, you're my friend. You missed the point. Most people have missed the point with ideology. It's something which we cannot escape. There is no escaping ideology. We are bound by it because it's the inherited meanings that we got through the process of language and the process of our association with other humans. That's what ideology is. Not all of it is actually in language. That's my progression from Zizek. I'm trying to remember his predecessors. Deleuze, I don't know. There is no escaping ideology, my friend. There is no escaping ideology for any of us. We need to create useful social narratives. And this is where that's my message for today. Have a lovely day, everyone.